We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumb fighter.
You trying to kill me or I'm trying to kill you. You know, I think it's, let's go in here and make this money. You know, it's more of a business tactic than anything.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us.
At the press conference, Gervonta Davis warned Jake Paul that he intends to end the fight decisively, aiming for a knockout with full confidence in his power and determination.
He's a fighter that just started fighting. That's, you know how when somebody first come in the gym and yeah. When somebody first come in the gym and they've been coming for like a little minute, so they think they nice now. They ain't get all the everything down packed, but that's how he fight. I don't think he's an awkward fighter. Awkward is somebody, I don't want to call no names, but awkward is different from him. He's not awkward. We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a...
Eddie Hearn didn't mince words about the unusual matchup between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul, saying it's more of a spectacle than real boxing, designed to grab attention rather than showcase skill or credibility. While he laughed at the idea as hilarious, he also warned that such exhibitions shouldn't be mistaken for professional boxing, reflecting the concern of many traditional promoters who feel these entertainment-driven fights are overshadowing the true spirit of the sport.
Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, what can you tell me about that? What can you tell me about why Jake and Anthony has maybe been put to the side for now?
Yeah, they always told us that it was, we were looking at that fight for February of next year, and they always said that there was a chance that Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then, but I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show. It's entertainment. It's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight. With, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round? I don't know what it is, but, I understand the market and I understand this freak show shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to do good business. Now, whether you want to be involved with it is another kettle of fish. I don't want to be involved with it, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big.
I can't stand the idea of Jake Paul fighting Gervonta Davis, but I know it will generate massive numbers, showing that just because something isn't liked doesn't mean it won't be financially successful. While I want no involvement, I respect that it will do big business. Ariel Helwani highlighted the contrast, noting that MMA fans often welcome unusual spectacles, yet boxing fans criticize them, which he sees as an unfair double standard. He argued that even if Davis versus Paul isn't traditional boxing, it still has entertainment value. Helwani stressed that this fight should be viewed as a one-off event, not judged by the standards of world title bouts, and that boxing fans should enjoy it without overreacting.
Maybe 200 to 150, how much bigger can Tank get? Why would that be somewhat celebrated in MMA, but in boxing it isn't? Do you know what I mean, Pizzi? In MMA, we sort of love the freak shows, but in boxing they don't. Why do you think that is? What does that say about us in MMA?
Well, we're a sick bunch of fucks, there's no doubt about that. But I will say...
You agree, right, or no?
Yeah, the idea of the MMA freak show is everybody coming together and saying, oh, we're going to watch a freak show. This is what this is. We know what this is. It is absolutely mental, what we're going to watch here. I think where people get annoyed with Jake is he even got me. You know what I mean? This guy is the greatest outrage farmer of all time. I saw his tweet and I was like, reading it, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, this is exactly what he fucking wants me to do. This is, every time I'm doing this, he's in the game of getting eyeballs and this is ridiculous. as long as, like, you know, why do I like an MMA freak show? Why would I watch Eddie Hall in an MMA fight against Dylan Dennis? I'd be like, this is fucking ridiculous, and I have to watch it. That's the way I feel about Jake Paul and Davis. I will watch it. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's all of us getting together to go to the circus for the evening. I think the reason why there's pushback against it when Jake does it is because Jake, and obviously tactfully, is going like, what are you talking about? This guy's a world champion. I took out Mike Tyson. He's a world champion. And then I'm going to take out Canelo and stuff like this. Like, he's winding us up. He's not agreeing to the stipulation that we're all agreeing on, which is, this is a freak show. This is absolutely mental. As long as we can agree with that, we can all enjoy it collectively.
Chael Sonnen was even harsher, dismissing Jake Paul's boxing skills and claiming the Paul brothers rely more on fame and money than actual ability to secure high-profile fights. He noted the recurring pattern of Jake targeting legends or experienced fighters despite the clear gap in technical skill, emphasizing that these matchups are driven more by hype and influence than true competition. In his view, the fight is based on financial pull rather than boxing merit, reflecting the opinion of many who see it as money-driven rather than a genuine test of talent.
Brothers, and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is, we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're going to do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're going to spot us some pounds. Hank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Hank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Hank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts.
One of the main talking points about this exhibition is the size difference between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul, with Davis being a natural lightweight and Paul closer to cruiserweight, creating a significant weight gap. This has led to speculation that the fight's outcome might already be predetermined, as analysts suggest Paul benefits either way. A win gives him credibility against the star boxer, while a loss can be downplayed due to the mismatch. These doubts have fueled ongoing rumors that the result could be manipulated to advance Paul's career.
Paul, shouldn't he?
No, he shouldn't.
But you don't think? Sorry. So, I thought we were all unanimous here. Do you think that Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis?
70 pounds is 70 pounds.
Gervonta Davis is very small, 5'5".
He's tiny, bro. That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Jake Paul,
he's a little man.
If Jake Paul's tucking up,
move on,
and absorbing punishment for walking forward, and look.
Ryan Garcia compared the Davis versus Paul fight to past controversial boxing events, like Mike Tyson's exhibitions that fans never really asked for, noting that the public doesn't want this matchup either. He highlighted the clear size disadvantage Davis faces against Paul, calling the fight unfair from the start, and concluded that while many fans may dislike it, they will eventually have to accept it because hype and money ultimately drive these events.
In disgrace of a fight, you know it. Just like Mike Tyson, low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it. But he was 60 years old. I mean, the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're gonna think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter. Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like, when I fought him, he's small. So I just think it's a very unfair fight.
Jake Paul stirred up drama with one of his trademark stunts, releasing a video where he smashed a cake made to look like Gervonta Davis, mocking him in the process. The move aimed to provoke and embarrass Davis while generating online attention. Known for his promotional tactics, Paul once again showed his skill at creating headlines and fueling the rivalry, proving he relies as much on spectacle and mind games as on his fights. Seeing Gervonta Davis face someone as big as Jake Paul will look unusual due to the striking size gap. But Davis holds clear advantages in skill, speed, and defense. His sharp footwork keeps him mobile and helps avoid heavy shots, while Paul will rely on his reach and size, landing clean punches on a smaller, Elusive opponent like Davis may be harder than expected, and Davis's counterpunching could create opportunities despite the weight and height difference. The real intrigue is this clash of style, Davis's skill versus Paul's size.
There's some interest to that because you're not going to see Gervonta Davis. You're going to be able to see Gervonta Davis's feet. That's what I'm going to be interested to see, because I don't think Gervonta's going to jump out there and try to run up into Jake Paul and try to knock Jake Paul out. What I think Gervonta is going to do is Gervonta is going to move his feet, just going to move, make Jake Paul miss a lot, make Jake Paul look really dumb just by using defense on him and making him swing at the wind, because that is going to be very tough for him to hit a guy that is that little. If you play basketball, for example, and you are a tall 6'1" guy and you try to stand in front of some 5'8", real quick 5'8" guy, trust me, their first steps are gone up out of there, those little teeny weeny dudes. So that's going to be very fun and interesting to watch how that goes down. Now, on the other side, what Jake Paul's going to do. He don't have no consciousness. He doesn't have a conscience about what he's trying to do. He's going to go in there and try to hurt a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. He don't care. He wanted to Nate. He's way bigger than Nate Jones when he fought Nate Jones. You think he didn't care about hitting Nate Jones upside the head? He's definitely going to be looking to try to get as much as he can get off on Gervonta Davis, and I see him trying to run up on him, trying to maul him, trying to grab him, trying to club him, trying to do all kind of craziness, man. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Now, let me tell you what I really hope, and I haven't seen for this particular card, but I know that I know it's going to be good, which is the undercard. The undercard for the Canelo Alvarez fight and Terrence Crawford fight is absolutely horrendous. There's nothing on the thing that would make you want to watch to tune into.
Terrence Crawford, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters, dismissed the Davis versus Paul matchup, questioning how promoters could justify matching a 195-pound fighter against someone at 135 pounds. He sees it not as a legitimate contest but as a business move disguised as a fight. His reaction reflects the doubts many in boxing share, viewing it as a spectacle rather than true competition, highlighting the divide between genuine sporting matchups and entertainment-driven. Are questioning whether Gervonta Davis's punches will have an impact on Jake Paul, as power can be diminished against a much bigger opponent. Many worry that Paul's size and mass will absorb most of Davis's shots, making his task much harder, while a clean punch from Paul, aided by his weight advantage, could seriously hurt Davis. This uncertainty heightens tension and raises doubts about whether the fight should even take place under these conditions.
Or will it be even more definitive in favor of Tank, like some people are suggesting? And with it being 10 rounds, like Jake Paul did start to gas at the end of his last fight. Like if that happens, maybe Tank could look at that and go, right, I'm going to work the body early, and when you do start fading, then I'm going to fucking really put the pressure on you. And it's one thing Julio Cesar Chavez, in front of you, who's trying a little bit in the last 2 rounds, but Tank, even as small as he is, it will be a lot harder to keep him off. And what will Tank's power be like as a 135er? Like he's probably going to be about 150 when he gets in there, maybe. Will those punches on the big fat dome of Jake Paul actually really hurt? Because power can translate up a couple of divisions, but like that's a lot of divisions. What if Jake just takes them? No problem. I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying it would be fucking weird. This really is size versus skill in its purest form, and that is why I've got to admit I'm fascinated to see it. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed as well, because I wanted to see Tank versus Roach after they went to a draw in their last fight, a very controversial draw. I think Tank should have fucking lost it, to be honest. Tank doesn't give a shit about legacy and belts. He doesn't give 2 shits about that. He just wants money. And unfortunately, it's going to really hinder his legacy. His legacy will just be, yeah, he had a good run, but he's never going to be up there with the greats, despite his talent. That being said, if he chins Jake Paul, it won't really matter, because everyone will fucking love him, won't they? And ironically, I said Tank should be fighting Roach, but Jake Paul clearly now should be fighting Darren Till. This was Darren's fight the other night against Luke Rockhold, former UFC middleweight champion. Dropped him. Hard to watch. There was just a massive gap in ability there. Like Rockhold being like a very well-rounded fighter in MMA, but Till just such a specialist in stand-up, and it showed. And this knockout was fucking brutal. Oh god, it was a terrible one. I mean, his leg was bent back.
A controversial rumor claims Gervonta Davis could be offered up to $200 million to deliberately lose to Jake Paul, sparking outrage among fans. The possibility that Davis might take the money and hand Paul a win raises serious doubts about the fight's authenticity and harms trust in the sport. If true, the matchup would focus on business rather than skill or legacy, leaving many unsure whether it's a genuine contest or staged entertainment.
Now, really, y'all worry about the wrong question. Y'all worry about Roach, but the real question is, damn, is Tank getting paid $150, $200 million to take that dive versus Jake? Is he gonna do it? Now, I'm just thinking, like, damn, like, phone them, $200 million? It's an exhibition, they gonna go on your record? Shit, what would I do? Would I take $200 million to lose a fake fight? Damn, G, Jake might win this fight, bro, cause shit, $200 million is an exhibition, y'all already talking shit. $200 million, would I take the dive? I think $200 million is worth taking a dive, gang. I honestly do think so. And it ain't even a real fight. I hope that's not the case, but that's a fucking solid fucking question. What the fuck is gonna happen in this fight? Like, is he gonna take the dive? It's an exhibition, so somebody gotta win. It's not real. It's like a play. When you really think about it, it's sparring. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What y'all think? What would you do? Would you take the $200 million to motherfucking lose to Jake Paul?
That wraps up today's Boxing Buzz video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more updates.